You know what? We just want to do these questions on identities, and I don't want you to think they're hard. So we want to do this number 3. And first of all, I want to just show you the concepts, the things you need to do to be able to do this number 3. So let's go here and let's do it. So we want to see the things that you are going to do for you to be able to remember to do trig identities. Okay? You're going to have to remember a few things. Number 1, you have to remember the identity that says sine squared theta plus cos squared theta is equal to 1. You have to remember this identity. Now, what is it? Sine squared theta plus cos squared theta is equal to 1. Now, I want you to know that many times we don't use it in this form. Many times we use it in the form of, what would happen if I take cos squared to the other side? What will happen? I will now have sine squared theta remaining alone, and it will be equal to 1 minus cos squared theta. Because this cos squared was adding, goes to the other side, it will subtract. So we also know from this guy that sine squared is what? 1 minus cos squared if you take cos squared to the other side. Now what happens if you take sine squared to the other side? You'll be having cos squared theta also being equal to 1 minus sine squared theta. Okay? So we've seen that sine squared theta plus cos squared theta is 1, which means that cos squared theta is 1 minus sine squared theta. And sine squared theta is 1 minus cos squared theta. That is what we have seen, right? That's the first thing we have seen. You agree? Now let's go to the second thing. Okay, first, it's usually you see it just in this form, but make sure you know that it can have other forms, and make sure you know the other forms that it can have. Second thing we want to do is see how to expand when you have sine of two things, when you want to get a sine of two things in a bracket and you want to expand. Okay, so we can do it as sine of a plus b and sine of a minus b. Okay, these things will be like, let's say you have sine of pi over 3 plus theta. This you'd want to expand. You want to know what it means. This is not, it is not going to be sine pi over 3 plus sine theta. No, we don't expand. In trig, we don't expand like we do in algebra to say sine of this plus. No. You must know how to expand for sine, how to expand for cos, and how to expand for tan, even though it's not there in the slides, but you need it because it's asked in your tutorial. So it'd say, okay, sine a plus b, what is this going to be? How do I expand sine? Well, sine a plus b is, what you must know is, I'm going to put also for cos. Cos a plus b and cos of a minus b. I want to show you some important thing here. Then, of course, we'll do for tan, okay? These are the three main trig functions, guys. There is also sec and all these other guys, but you won't deal with them like this, okay? For now, you won't have to know any of the identities. Now let's see. How do I expand sine? How do I expand sine? Now, when you expand for sine, you must know that this is how these guys do. For sine, he comes together with cos all the time. He comes together with cos, but then he goes first, then cos goes second. So it's like what we in the first one. So it's like I want to expand this. So it'll be like sine A, sine of the first, then cos of the second, which is cos B. Then now he also gives cos a chance to go first. So you now have cos of A, which is the first one, and sine of B. That's the same thing he does here, even when there's subtraction inside the bracket. If there's a sign outside, what do? It'll be sine A cos B. Can you see that it's, even though it was a negative B here, when we take it as a B only. This negative is going to affect the sign, which is going to go in between here. So it is sine A cos B, then cos A sine B. You see? How good is this? Now, if these were adding inside here, for sine, they also add. If they were subtracting in here, for sine, they also subtract. Can you see this? Beautiful, right? So what about if it's cos? What about if it's cos? Let's do for cos now. Cos A plus B, what is it going to be? So we saw for sine. What are the two things we saw? Number one, when you're expanding sine, you start with the sine. Sine goes first, but he comes together with cos. So it'll be sine A cos B, then cos A sine B. Sine A cos B, then cos A sine B. If there's a minus, the minus comes here. If there's a plus, the plus comes here. But remember, you always take the positive values when you are putting in here, okay? Ignore the negative when you are punching here. This negative affects this, okay? Now, that's a very important thing. Now, when we come here, we now say, okay, what about for cos A plus B? What are we going to do? For cos, this is how he does it. For both of them, these two, cos goes first alone, then sine will go second. So it'll be cos A, cos B. Okay, he doesn't share with sine like what we were saying for sine to say sine A. No, cos goes alone, then the sines go alone. So it'll be now sine A, sine B. And cos goes alone again, cos A, cos B. Even when it's a minus, people, then it will be now sine A, then sine B. Now, what you then do again for cos is, we saw that for sine, if this is a plus, then in here it will be a plus. But for cos, you change. If this is a plus, in here you make it a minus. If this is a minus, in here you make it a plus. So these are the things to remember. So now I have for sine and for cos. You should practice using those things. Then now we do the last one, which is for tan. Tan, yes, this one you won't see it in your slides, but it is important. It is there again in your tutorial. So that is why we are doing it. How do you do for tan A plus B? And you see how to do for tan of A minus B. Tan is a weird guy. Tan is nice. We don't do like we're doing here. For cos, we saw that cos goes first, then sine second, and you change the sign. If this is a plus, this was a plus. If this is a plus, in here it will be a minus. If this is a minus, in there it will be a plus. You understand? That's how it happens. Now for tan A plus B, we'll be now just expanding it. How do you do for tan? For tan, you say if it's tan A plus B, you act like you are expanding the algebra way. So it will be tan of A plus tan B. Okay? You act like you have expanded the algebra way. To say tan A plus tan times B, which is tan B. You act like, but then in the denominator, you then come and say 1. If this was a plus, you now say minus. You now say 1 minus, then you now say tan A, tan B, okay? It's no more plus. It's now 1 minus, then you put them together as tan A, tan B, if this was a plus. So how would we do if this was a minus? Let's see, you try. You can try, and then you can pause the video, try, and then resume. Okay, so what would it be? It'll be tan of A. This becomes tan A, then minus tan B. We said we expand like we do in algebra. Tan A minus tan B, okay? Then we now say O over, if this is a minus, then this will become a 1 plus. Then we now put what? Tan A, tan B. And this is the end. We'll be done with the tan. Now there's one more thing to know, and you know everything for you to be able to answer the questions that are about to come. And that is, what do you know about double angles? So let's put the double angles. What is sine 2x? What is cos 2x? It can be 2 theta, it can be whatever. And then what is, yeah, we can do these two. For sine 2x, you should just know that this is going to be 2, then sine x, cos x. Now, these are double angles. What we are now doing, these are called the double angle formulas, okay? Here we are doing now double angle formulae, okay? Formulas, which is formulae. You understand? Now, what you must see is what is going on with double angles is, if this was a 2x, when you're coming from it, you just have it to come here. So for example, what is sine x? This is 2 sine x over 2 cos x over 2. Okay, you half whatever you had here. If I had a sine 4x or sine 6x, what do? We half. We say 2, then we say sine half of 6x is 3x. So 2 sine 3x cos 3x. That's what happens with double angle. You half as you go to this other side. How good is that? Beautiful, right? I know. Now, we only put this one form, but you must know that it means a lot. Okay, if you had sine 8x, you can just make it a 2 sine 4x cos 4x. Then you can even do for 4x again and go down and whatever. Okay, so this is the double angle for sine. Now, the double angle for cos. Cos 2x has three forms. The first one is it's just cos squared x minus sine squared x. That's the first version. It's cos 2x, right? Yes. So it'll be cos squared x minus sine squared x. Cos squared x. It's no longer, it came from cos 2x, now it's a cos squared x. Then minus sine squared x. Then again, we have other forms. Cos 2x is going to be 1 minus 2 sine squared x. So the sign is always negative because we're coming from a cos 2x. Can you see? Cos 2x here was cos squared minus sine squared. Here cos 2x is 1 minus, but then put 2 sine squared x. Then we have the last version which says cos 2x is equal to 2 cos squared x minus 1. Okay? Cos 2x is equal to 2 cos squared x minus 1. Okay? And here it was 1 minus 2 sine squared x. Then here it is 2 cos squared x minus 1. These are the versions. And you must remember these things. Now remember that this is still the same as what we were saying for sine. This thing. If this was a cos 4x, it would have been cos squared 2x minus sine squared 2x. You get it? If you had a cos 6x or 8x, okay, or cos 10x, then you'd be saying this is going to be, what can you say? You can say cos squared 5x minus sine squared 5x. You just half it as you go to the other side, okay, because this was the double angle. Then here again, cos 10x again, we can also say it's 1 minus 2, then sine squared half of 10x is 5x. Then it's the same if we had, say, cos 16x. This is going to be 2